Yes, how are we doing, everyone? Welcome back to the stream. I will just get the background music on, and yeah, we are rocking. We are rocking on this day when Bitcoin is pumping. We're not actually up too much on the day because obviously this came late last night, didn't it? If we actually look at the Bitcoin move, this obviously came late last night on Tuesday. So for the day, we are actually only up 0.5%. But obviously, since last night, we are up very nicely. And we are now what is seemingly getting a breakout move on Bitcoin. Let me just go and retweet something in a second, actually. Not right now. Doesn't need to be now. And yeah, so we are on a breakout move on Bitcoin, which is exceptionally good because we've been waiting a long time for this. Now, there are definitely some bullish things to look at aside from this being a breakout move, because currently the way it's looking is we are getting a different breakout from this resistance compared to the last few times. Betterbot, how are we doing? Hello to you. Barros, good afternoon to you, sir. How are we? Just let me go and retweet this. Watch this post. There we go. Right, so yeah, we are getting a nice breakout move. Now, what I definitely would say is this looks a lot different to the last breakout moves. Obviously, we have got US Open as well, and oil continues to be slammed, and we are now seeing pretty much the same price action on Bitcoin and the S&P that it has been for the majority of the day. Nick, how are we doing? Nick, great to see you over on this channel. I was waiting to see when you'd come over, mate. I don't think you've been over yet, have you? Or maybe you have been once or twice. Nick, just for you, mate. Reggie, man, it is. It's me, yes. Oh, Reggie, man. It's been a long time, mate. Are you here by coincidence, or did you ditch my streams and just go over to the CSE channel? Anyway. That right there, we are a couple minutes late, but doesn't matter. That right there, I'll dedicate that to Nick, because I know Nick loves the bell ringing so much. Reggie, man, mate, it's been a long time. Are you here by coincidence, or are you here because you watch the CSE channel? Let me know. I'm fascinated to see, mate. It's been a long time. How are we doing? Bosco, great to see you in the chat as well. So, we are getting a breakout move on Bitcoin. That's what it looks like at the moment. Now, what I would say is, this looks no bandana. Mate, was that the last time that you watched the stream? No. Reggie, man, you must have went to the sunglasses, surely. You must have been John, how are we doing, mate? Make sure you all drop a like on the stream as well. But Reggie, man, you must have been in the stream when I just went to the sunglasses, surely. The bell is back. Yeah, you know what? Here you go again. There you go. There's another one for you fine people. Anyway, so what I would say is Bitcoin looks been missing for a while. Pure coincidence, mate. Well, it's great to see you. Yeah, so obviously for Reggie, man, and I assume everyone else in the chat already knows, but yeah, the content that used to go out on Stonksy is now fully on the CSE channel. So I am putting all my live streams and my videos on the CSE channel alongside Wiz. We're just condensing all the content into one. But Reggie, man, it's great to be back, mate. How are you? Let me know what you've been up to, Reggie. Because Reggie, it's been a long time. Everyone welcome Reggie, man, back. I assume probably a few of you remember Reggie, man. But, mate, it's been a long time. How are you? How are things? And what's been going on in the world of Reggie, man? Last time I watched was when I had my OM trade. Yes, that was probably... Was that about a year ago, maybe? It might have even been a year ago, I can't remember. There was actually someone coming in, Reggie, man, that had a similar username to you. And I asked him a few times if he was Reggie, man. Because I was just missing you, mate. He wasn't, obviously. But it's great to see you. So, yeah, what I would say is this at the moment looks very different to the last couple of attempts at breaking this range. And why is that? If we see last time, basically when Bitcoin got the breakout, it instantly kind of just melted up out of the range. And then, obviously, didn't really hang along for too long. This kind of did it here, to be fair. Now I'm seeing it. That had it a little bit. But what I would say on here is, the difference is Bitcoin's broken up. And we've not just gone ping, like kind of like a liquidation move to the upside. What we've done is obviously test this area for demand and support, which has been the key. For the past 2 months, we have been looking at this range, and we have been looking for 71.5k to flip to support. At the moment, it looks like Obviously, fingers crossed, but it looks like it's doing that. We've tested it over the past couple of 4-hour candles. So obviously this one came up, bang. Then we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, this being the fourth, 4-hour candles in and around 71.5k. And we are now pushing to the upside. So what we want, what do we need for Bitcoin? What is the most bullish outcome? And what do we need for this breakout to actually be successful? We basically just need to hold above here. It's that simple. We just need to hold above here. If we hold above 71.5k, if we come down for a liquidation move and still close the 4-hour candle in, then that's fine. You know, if we come down and just say liquidate the bottom of these and maybe dip below 71k temporarily, as long as we close the 4-hour candle, you know, in and around the middle to the top end of the grey box, I would still consider that okay. But what we are now seeing is a potential breakout on Bitcoin, which we do need to be a proper breakout, yeah? We need it to be a proper breakout. My screen is lagging. Let me know how is the audio and how is everything. It says excellent signal and excellent streaming quality on mine. Let me know if that is actually coming through right too. If everything is excellent as it says. But yeah, so that's what we're looking at on Bitcoin. And of course, the grand old question is, where are we going to go next? Now, obviously, those of you that have been around, watching the channel, watching the videos, will know that this area, we have been banging the drum on for at least a month now. So, you know, going back to when this range was about a month old, we have been looking at this area as the potential move for a breakout. Last time, obviously, we didn't get there. Last time, the move stopped around 76k. This time, we've got a couple of factors to tie in. Obviously, we've just had a bullish catalyst ceasefire. We want the ceasefire to hold. If anyone breaks the ceasefire, that could obviously see us plunge to the downside. But we want kind of the narrative and the idea. And what we want to hear is start like the noises coming out of the US and Iran during this ceasefire are talking about a complete peace deal. That's what we want to hear, and that could obviously see us really start to shoot to the upside. But the most important thing is that we just hold above 71.5k, and then we should hopefully be on our way towards 79,000. This was a fake out. The others were a fake out. We've been in here for 2 months now. It's over 60 days that we've been in this range. So we are due a Bitcoin move soon and at some point. And given the fact we are looking like we are breaking out and we are flipping that area to support, hopefully this is it. Now, obviously, there are a few factors that we want to consider in this. In the fact that if Bitcoin does indeed crash back below, then that's no good because we are then back within the range. So that's what we don't want to happen. We do not want that to happen. We don't want to get back below 71k particularly. We want to stay above. Not being up to much, recovering from poor trades and having time out of the market. Mate, well, it's good to have you back. So are you back, Reggie? Are you back, mate? Or what's the case and what's the score with you? Are you back, or are you just kind of coming back to see maybe what you've been missing? Let me know. But yeah, so that's obviously what we've got going on. We do want the upper plan to come off, not the downside plan. But at the moment, yeah, we do have bullish catalysts. But particularly, you know, to get to here, Bitcoin could do it just naturally, because if we go and look on the daily, we don't really need any kind of catalyst, but obviously it does help. It does speed things up. But Bitcoin will always move how and where it needs to. May take a lot of time, but it will always do that. We don't always need a catalyst. But if we look at this, obviously from the day that we came in, so we spent 62 days in this range. 62 days in this range now. So what that tells us is we are, depends on where Bitcoin goes. Mate, but that's the point now, isn't it? Reggie, man, are you not approaching it from the point of you want to maybe get in before the good times come back? Because that is particularly always, obviously, not financial advice, Reggie, man. Not telling you to go and hit market buy here. But particularly what you don't want to be. You don't want to be the person that's putting the liquidity in at the top, do you? You don't want to be the person that's fueling people's exits. The best times to buy have always been the bad times. So let me know, Reggie, anyway. But it's great to see you back, mate. Even if you just come and watch the streams, mate, it's good to have you around the place. But anyway, yeah, so looking at this, obviously we've been in here 62 days, over 2 months now. We've had a failed breakdown to the downside. We've had another failed breakdown to the downside. We've had 3 failed breakouts to the upside. So, you know, 2 to the downside, 2 to the upside. We are coming to a point now, obviously, where Bitcoin will move again. You know, we won't be stuck in this range forever. At some point, Bitcoin will trade 80,000s, 50,000s if you think downside. but obviously we won't be stuck in the 60,000s to low 70,000s forever. But yeah, this area makes complete sense. One, because obviously we'll come into supply. This is where Bitcoin paused on the drop down. We had some consolidation, and then bang, there's supply come into the market again for the final leg down. Also, prime liquidity sweep. If you look at them daily candles, we've got 1, 2, 3 build up of daily candles. That pulls us into supply, into a nice liquidity sweep. From there, I would expect a pullback if we do get there. I would expect a pullback just to come down and grab some liquidity and maybe put in a higher low, perhaps. But that's what I'm expecting if Bitcoin does hold to the upper of the range now and flips it to support, which is what we want, isn't it? So let me know in the chat, what are you guys holding your hat on? What are you guys thinking of? But for me, this is what we've been waiting for, particularly obviously those of you that watch the streams, watch the videos. This is exactly what we've been waiting for, isn't it? But yeah, we want to see obviously Bitcoin hold up. Now let's go and see what's going on in TradFi. So obviously the S&P is coming to an interesting region. Now what I do want to do is, because the CSE newsletter has gone out, and obviously this has got a lot of the insight that I will go over already inside it. So this is out today. So what we want to do is go over it. So here we go. So it says Crypto Saving Expert Newsletter issue 185. GM markets just got the green light. Ceasefire headlines flipped the tone overnight. Oil is dumping, equities are ripping, and risk is finally waking up. Bitcoin still hovering right at the edge. So the question now is simple. Is this the breakout we've been waiting 6 days for, or just another fake out move before the final real one? Let's have a look. And of course, as always, you can go to any of the subjects you want just by clicking on them. So if we click on, say, this, obviously that will take us straight to there. So markets get the green light. Tuesday was a pivotal day for the world, but following the ceasefire agreement between the US and Iran, it is the markets that are already reaping the benefits. So obviously Bitcoin, this is looking at exactly, so Nick says bull trap. Nick, are you shorting, mate? Are you shorting? Boo! Boo! So yeah. So there you go, back to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is on the cusp of breaking out. So this is exactly basically what we've just been over, isn't it? This is exactly what we've just been over, which is why I'm coming over to the newsletter, so we don't have to go over it one time and then go through the newsletter another time. Obviously, if you're not subscribed to the newsletter, you can do that on the CSE website. But basically just covering the same thing. You know, Bitcoin is starting to get above the range high resistance. Can we flip it to support? If we can, hopefully we're looking up towards there. So obviously Ethereum. So Ethereum is quite interesting because Ethereum has already broken out of resistance. If we look at Ethereum here, you can see obviously this area here, 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 here. Obviously fake out there, back below, resistance, 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 resistance again at the start of April, resistance again just this week on Monday. But you can see ETH broke out yesterday, so ETH has already broken out of its range. Now what I would say on ETH, bearing in mind, is ETH has formed a very different range this time and the last time. If you remember the one that we was in towards the back end of the year from November into the start of January, ETH formed a very different range compared to Bitcoin there as well. So ETH itself is trading very differently from Bitcoin and Solana too. Solana's trading much more similarly towards Bitcoin. But ETH has already broken out of its resistance, if we see there. So ETH is already in bullish territory. So what are we heading towards now? We are heading towards the March high, and the idea of a $2,500 price tag does not seem that far away. So obviously that would be here. And why have I chosen that? Because that would be the next kind of big liquidity sweep, in my opinion. Obviously you've got these highs here, which are almost equal highs, and then you've just got that to kind of pop it over, bull trap people if that's what it was going to do, and then rip it to the downside if you're treating it as a liquidity sweep. But in reality, the theory of $80,000 Bitcoin and $2,500 ETH may even be conservative given its strength this week. So obviously it's already broken out. It's roughly about 10% away from that 2.5k tag, isn't it? Which, if you look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin is roughly about 10% away. So is Ethereum going to do the exact same rewards if Bitcoin pumps 10%? Normally we would say no, wouldn't we? Normally what happens is alts gain strength, and we would maybe see ETH do 15 to 20%. So that may be conservative. However, until the market proves itself, conservatism may be the best method. So this is the next one. Now this is really interesting because that is obviously what I just pulled up beforehand, And this is something that we could really see dictate where Bitcoin goes next. And if this Bitcoin move is indeed a breakout, or if we get a retrace and it ends up being another fake out. And here is why. Because the S&P has retraced almost all of its downside move from March. So you can see, obviously, we was trading in this range, wasn't we? And you could even pull that back across there. You know, we first hit them levels in November, was trading in it all of November, all of December, apart from obviously this. But then obviously at the start of March is where we actually lost support. So the S&P downtrend only started at the start of March, where Bitcoin, we've been in a downtrend since October. The big test came in late March into April as it tested demand down at 6,350. You can see that there, SR region. Why is it an SR region? Because if you pull, obviously looking at the price action there, you've got it as resistance, then it flips over support, drops back below resistance, regains it as support, comes in again support, one final test support, bang, there we go. So obviously that's clear SR, and we know that again because the S&P came right into there, tested it, and bang, went to the upside. So we can now see this provided the origin of the bounce, and the S&P is still seeing a monster daily candle on the back of the ceasefire agreement. So obviously that is just, look at that daily candle. That's on par with the initial retrace in it from the test. If it can recapture support down, up at 6,800, where it's testing now, we see here, obviously it's tailed off a little bit, but if we can get back above here, then that will be bullish, because we can see it was used as support. You know, if you pulled that across as well, you could even have it as SR. You know, it would be resistance here, depending on how big your box was. Support all along here as well, resistance too. So big SR region, but particularly what we'd be looking at is the price action from kind of January onwards. You can see test it as support there, test it as support there, support for basically a week there. Then we dropped back below, and then it was resistance. So that region there is big daily resistance on the daily time frame. So tariff crash 2, you know, could it be the tariff crash 2? Could it be big, strong downtrend into a high profile event, puts the bottom in, and then bang, we go up. Oil. So obviously looking at oil again, you know, it was minus 15% on the day when I wrote the newsletter, down almost 20% from Tuesday's high, and again catalyzed by that ceasefire reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, Strait of Hormuz, that's how you say it. I always get it mixed up of how you say that. So obviously now oil tankers are allowed through there. What we are seeing already is oil coming down, which should lead to lower fuel prices. Video just gone up on the CSE X account as well about fuel prices. I was out, and I'll pull it up in a minute. I was out doing boots on the ground journalism this morning, guys. I'll show you the video. So yeah, that's what we're looking at, and then obviously oil could pull back in towards 76 if the ceasefire is respected. Now you got to remember, this is a 2-week long ceasefire, which could potentially lead into a complete peace deal. But even after the 2 weeks, if the fighting starts again, it gives a 2-week window as long as it's respected and it's not broken and just starts the fighting again before the 2 weeks is over. That's 2 weeks of narratives. You know, you would imagine that the US will try and be putting a narrative that they're working on a peace deal, they're working on a deal in their favor. Obviously, Iran wants some certainties in the peace deal too. So you've got 2 weeks of potential headlines and narratives coming out of this, which could see oil drop considerably more. And then, of course, we're on to the other stuff in the newsletter. That's all the TA. So you've got the Fear and Greed Index, discussing that. Important dates for this week. You've got the gainers and losers. You've got some of the best news stories from this week. And then, of course, you've got any deals or anything of interest coming from there. So that is this week's newsletter. If you didn't read it, you go back and watch this video, or you can, you know, I do put a video out every week on the CSE X account as well, covering a newsletter, so I'll probably do one of them too, if I don't clip this up. But yeah, so this is what we're looking at. So I'm going to play the video now for everyone that's still here anyway. If people dropped off, boo. But yeah, I'm going to play the video because I was out this morning covering the ever increasing fuel prices.
Right, so we are out doing some boots on the ground journalism today as diesel hits nearly £2 per litre and petrol goes over the 160 barrier. UK motorists are still being ripped off by ever increasing fuel prices, and this seems like it's only going to get worse in the coming weeks as fuel goes higher and higher and higher. The UK government have done nothing to stop this, and it's only getting worse, forcing motorists to be hit in the pocket for these ever increasing fuel prices. And given the ceasefire in the war between the US and Iran overnight, this should not be happening overnight. These prices have gone up since yesterday, when fuel tankers are now being given passage through the Strait of Hormuz. So this is a rip-off, and this should not be happening. But UK motorists are still being hit by greedy fuel companies. Right, so we are.
There we go. Let me know how you. Well, let me know what you thought of that then. Go on, let me know what you thought of that. I'm here, Dave. Don't worry, mate. I was starting to say, oh, where's Stu? Oh, where's Stu? So the S&P is dropping a bit. I'm getting some lag on my trading view today. I tell you what, I'm going to be hopefully upgrading the system in the coming months. The whole streaming setup. I'm hoping to secure a Mac Mini, which should definitely improve the streaming on this channel, I think. So yeah, I'm hoping to secure a Mac Mini, which will mean that shouldn't get any lag. Everything should be smooth. Should just be generally better. Not happening yet, but hopefully in the coming months, yeah, I'll be able to secure a Mac Mini for streaming and video purposes, which would be absolutely fantastic. But yeah, we are getting a little bit of a retrace. Now, if you notice, exactly where YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth. Right, I'm going to be probably lagging now, guys, for a little bit. It normally lags for a couple minutes. If not that, even about a minute, and then the lag stops. So let's just hope. Let's hope that the lag stops now. I'm just gonna wait until the lag stops. Is the lag stopping? Let me know in the chat. I hate how it does this. This doesn't even happen every time. This. It's just like completely random. It's not receiving enough video. Hopefully the lag stopped now. Howdy Steve-O. Howdy to you. I'm hoping that the lag is stopped. Yeah, right, lag stopped. There we go. So back on with it. Lag stopped. You guys were a little bit behind, but obviously when you catch up to this, you'll know that lag has stopped. So if you look on the newsletter, exactly where I highlighted on the S&P, 6,800, testing daily SR, you can see exactly where we have fallen off from, so for now at least. So definitely, you know, plenty of alpha in the newsletter, and what we particularly want to see is the S&P reclaim this, so we can hopefully carry on this move. Because if the S&P drags down too much, we could see Bitcoin get plunged down with it. We don't want that to happen, because you know, we want Bitcoin to carry on up, don't we? Do you have under fans for the laptop? I don't, mate. No, it's not even warm. The laptop's not even warm. Cough, cough, hardwire, mate. I know. Do you know what though, Steve-O? That doesn't happen very often. You know, that just happened then. Probably happens, I'd say, once out of maybe every kind of like 4 streams, if that. So it doesn't happen very often at all. Yeah, it has. I know you did say though, to be fair, go Ethernet cable, but I still always got the option to do that. It's just one hole through the wall. That's all it is, just one hole through the wall. I could easily Ethernet it up if I need to. But yeah, you can see obviously this absorption on Bitcoin already. So we did pop up to just shy of 73k, and now we're back down to 71.5, as the S&P is obviously taking a nosedive on open. So we just want to see this hold. Even if Bitcoin comes down towards 71.3, 71.2, it's not the end of the world. We just need to kind of hold the grey box, and we are A-OK, in my opinion. But yeah, so that's where we're up to. That's where the newsletter's up to, hopefully. A lot of you are subscribed to the newsletter, I hope. What's this? What is this? Yeah, so that's where we're up to with that anyway. As terms for, obviously we covered ETH in the newsletter. In terms of Solana, let's have a look to see what Solana's doing. Obviously I said it's trading very similarly to Bitcoin. It is. You can see here, obviously we had a bit of SR inside on Solana here. The main SR obviously coming down here, that test there, bang, 2nd of April, pinged it and rallied to the upside. What we want to see on Solana now, and obviously Solana's just got this great big range on it. There's just this extended big range. We got Lee Shaw saying, good afternoon, just off to the doctors, we'll catch up this evening, hope all is well. Yes, Lee, how we doing, mate? Great to see you. Yeah, appreciate you, Lee, thanks for tuning in, hope all well, mate. And yeah, if you catch up, brilliant. But yeah, what we want to see on Solana, now Solana, if you actually notice Solana in its structure and where it is on the chart, has actually, I said it's trading similar to Bitcoin, but it's actually not. Solana's trading very weak. Look at Solana, it's down 1.65% today. Solana's trading very weak in the market. If you look, it's actually basically in the mid-range of the range, isn't it? So it's still got a lot of work to do before it even comes up to the range high there. Where, when we look at Bitcoin, obviously, breakout move, fingers crossed. When we look at ETH, already broken out, breakout move there, done. We covered that in the newsletter. So Solana itself, being very weak, you know, it's got a decent move to go before it even comes up into resistance and even looking at breaking the range. So if we look at that, let's see. We have got a basically a 10% move before Solana even hits daily resistance there and the range resistance, and then of course then we've got a breakout. So what that does is give two things. Obviously it's showing weakness in Solana, which potentially is a good thing or a bad thing, how you view it. You know, you've still got potential entries on Solana inside the range to look to trade towards the range high and maybe even a breakout. Alternatively, it being so weak in the market, is that a bad thing? Potentially it is, yeah, because we are certainly lagging when it comes to Solana. But it has got around a 9% move to go before it comes into resistance. And then, of course, from there, if we get above here, like we looked at on Bitcoin and ETH, targets to the upside, I'd be looking kind of 104 to 105 on Solana personally. But it's got a lot of work to do there. Firstly, it just needs to get into here to even test daily resistance. And then, hopefully, get above and then up to there. So if you actually look at that as like a whole move, if we're looking at it from here on Solana up to here, that's around a 25% move, which is a big move. And obviously, if you would have long Solana down towards its support anywhere down here, then you know that's a monster move to be long on. So potentially really good, but there are some obviously signs there to say why is it being so weak in the market. Do you need the back door open? I don't know if it is open. All right. So yeah, that's what we've got going there. But yeah, that's what we're looking at in Solana. In case if you want me to cover any other altcoins, you know, if you want me to look at Hype or XRP or BNB or Doge or whatever, let me know in the chat, and obviously I can do that. We have got a big drawdown on oil here now. Yes, it's down 18% on the day. So like in this video that I covered about fuel stations just ripping people off, we should start to see these start to drop now. So it will be interesting to see how much they're trying to rip people off, because there is no reason for prices to keep going up when we've had that bigger drop on oil today, particularly as the Strait is now reopened, so oil tankers are now able to pass through. There shouldn't be any reason for fuel price to carry on going up. But yeah, that's obviously what we're looking at in the market itself. Should we have a little look at gold? Let's have a little look at gold and silver. My trading view is cooked. My trading, yeah, there we go. I definitely need to get on a Mac Mini sooner rather than later for sure. So this is obviously what we're looking at on gold. So we did have a big drop towards the end of March, but if you look at that, where it's up now, so from that low, we are up. Ah, there we go. The stream's lagging again. I actually don't know if I don't think that this is I actually don't think this is an issue from the hardwiring, you know, Steve, from the Ethernet. I think this is an issue with my MacBook. I think that's what it is, because it's saying YouTube is not receiving enough video. The video is coming directly from the MacBook. I'm sure it's on the settings somewhere. So I actually think it's the MacBook that just can't keep up. But yeah, let's hope hopefully that this stops lagging, and we can carry on. I hope anyway. Let's see. No, still not stopped lagging. I do apologise about this. It is very annoying. I find it incredibly annoying as well. It must be very annoying for you guys. It's just it's like it sticks. It's like the lag just sticks. There we go. Right. We're back on. We are back on. So yeah, what was I saying? I can't even remember. Yeah, so we're looking at gold. Obviously, gold's up really nicely from there. Now, I did put this in a newsletter probably about 2 weeks ago, maybe, talking about gold, you know, making a way up to here. Will be very interesting if gold continues to grind up towards 5k, because from there, they, for example, UK just got the last oil tanker in. If by luck a tanker leaves from Iran now, it will take 15 days minimum to get here. Odds are we will be out of petrol by then. Just need to get it from somewhere else, don't they? They need to get it from somewhere else. Now, how easy that is, obviously, is another question, but that's not up to me. They've had weeks to plan for this, haven't they? They've had weeks to plan for this, and this all comes from the fact that, you know, there's nothing going on in the North Sea. I know someone like you, like Steve-O, says, drill, baby, drill. And that's what I think we should be doing. We should be drilling, baby, drilling, for sure. But that's another topic, innit? And another can of worms. But, I mean, yeah, the UK's been sold down a river by net zero. And now they're in a position where you really need fuel. You need petrol and diesel. So, but hopefully, anyway, it's the kind of match to ignite net zero being abolished, because it's just a load of rubbish. What a waste of money. But yeah, again, that's a different whole topic, isn't it? So gold is making its way towards supply. In my opinion, I think it'll be difficult for it to hit here. If it does get above there, where would I be looking at on gold? Personally, I think that would be kind of the next area to look for on gold. In towards kind of 5,200-ish. If it can get above 5k. But I think that will be very sticky for gold for sure. The silver's having a good day, up 5% as well. So yeah, silver moving nicely, but like gold, I think silver kind of hits a brick wall around 81. And again, if it does get above there, then kind of up towards late 80s, just under 90. UK outbid other countries for that tanker, is that right? Well, what they should be doing is they should be reducing the tax, shouldn't they, the governments? They should be temporarily reducing the tax, because that's how the fuel companies justify it, isn't it? Because they say, well, you know, obviously supply and demand, but the reason that fuel prices are so high is because the UK slaps so much tax on each litre that's sold. So if they just simply put a temporary 20% reduction, and you say to the fuel companies, we're going to reduce it, but you have to reflect that in your prices. Easy done. But, yeah. Nothing's ever that easy. Nothing's ever that easy, is it? But yeah, back to Bitcoin. Back to what we care about. Yeah, I mean, this 4-hour candle doesn't look the greatest. But in the grand scheme of things, as long as we hold above here, that's all that matters. So, with basically 2 hours left, hopefully we can close it a bit better and maybe a push up towards 72 or above. But you'd take it, wouldn't you? You'd take it either way. This would be good, though. This would be good. If we can recapture this as support. Oh, that should open the way, hopefully, for a nice run in stocks. But hopefully then gives Bitcoin some nice breathing room to go, right, bang, expand to the upside. There we go. But yeah, this week we have got CPI on what day is it? Friday. Friday CPI. So I'll make sure I go live a bit earlier for that, because they are forecasting a big number. They're forecasting 3.3, which is massively above the last set, which was 2.4. So why they're doing that, I'm not too sure, I'll be honest. I don't know why they're forecasting so high. But hopefully we'll get a good reaction. We don't normally get that much reaction from US data anymore, do we? But hopefully we do get some good reaction. So I'll make sure I go live. That's obviously 1:30 UK time. So I'll make sure I'll be live for that, for CPI data for sure. And what else is going on in the world? Let's have a look. If you do want me to cover anything crypto-wise specifically, let me know. And obviously I can do that for you legends. Trump threatens tariffs of 50% on countries supplying military weapons to Iran. Oh, here we go. CEO shares a dangerous red flag in a boss. Oh, we're not interested in that. We're interested in this, aren't we? Jim Cramer's top 10 things to watch in the stock market Wednesday. Let's have a look at this. What a legend. What a legend. Let's hope that it loads. Let's hope that it loads. So here we go. My top 10 things to watch this Wednesday. This is coming from Jim Cramer. What a legend. I didn't realise you had to create a free account to read full articles. I'll have to do that. I tell you what though. So he's saying stock futures are flying to a 2-week ceasefire. With the war pause, expect the transport and tech stocks to be the biggest winners. Trading in and out of markets is a fool's errand. Anthropic. So this is actually really interesting, because there was something fascinating that come out from Anthropic yesterday, which is kind of where AI has been slowly making its way towards. And it is. It's going to be fascinating to see what happens in the short to medium term future with this. It's just, my operating system is just cooked by the looks of it. I think it's cooked anyway. Alright. It was tweeted out on TMG's page, so let's pull it up. But yeah, I think the MacBook's nearly dead, guys. To be fair, it's done as well. I've been streaming now for about 18 months. About 18 months I've been streaming. So 18 months of streaming plus video making and content creation and stuff like that. I think to get that much, and this MacBook's nearly 2 years old. So I think to get that long out of it, when you're putting it through streaming and putting it through making and editing videos, I think is not too bad in terms of usage. But it does look like it's starting to get to the point where it's cooked. Obviously today, Morgan Stanley's ETF has launched, called MSBT. So that's a big news for today. Obviously we've got Trump there making more headlines. Now I'm just slowly making our way down here. This is it. This is it. So this was fascinating when I saw this. So Anthropic says Claude. Now the Claude update is called Claude Mythos. And they said it's too powerful to be released to the public. And access will, at the start anyway, be restricted to 40 big tech companies. And the reason they say it's too powerful and a bit dangerous is because when it was in its testing phase, it actually broke the shackles. So the shackles that they put on Claude Mythos, it actually broke out of it and just reached the internet, which obviously it wasn't meant to do, and it wasn't meant to be able to do that, or obviously told to do that, but it did it anyway. And then it started bragging that it had broken out of and reached the internet, which is just crazy, isn't it, when you think about it? Like this AI update, this version of Claude, broke out of the shackles that Anthropic was meant to have it in, and just started doing its own thing on the internet, which is just crazy. It's wild, isn't it? Which has always been that thing that people say, what's that film? What's the film where people compare like the evolution of AI to, and say it's going to be like where the robots just want to kill everyone? But yeah, I mean that's crazy. I personally, I've never used Claude. You have changed platform apps, your upload data needs to be throttled so it doesn't max it out. My upload data needs to be throttled so it doesn't max it out, right? I'll take a look, Stevo. What in terms of like my upload speed or how I'm uploading it? So obviously when I'm doing it wireless now, you're talking about obviously the benefits of doing it wired. But yeah, I've personally never used Claude. Has anyone actually ever used Claude? I've only ever heard good things about it, and it seems to be like the one thing now where everyone wants to use Claude, and it seems like the best thing. Personally, I only ever really have a use case for Grok. I don't think I'd ever find any benefit really, but I tell you what I have seen is a lot of people using Claude to build prediction market trading bots, and there's been some crazy returns from some. I've seen loads of bots. Anyone else where it's been reported on where the bot has turned like $1,000 into 30k on prediction markets just by basically being ahead of the data and being ahead of the trades. But yeah, oh, we are coming down now. Yes, 71.5k now. Come on, Bitcoin, hold it, hold the line, hold the line. I tell you what, there's not that many of us. It's actually only 3 people watching. Surely not. Surely there's got to be more. Let me know if you're watching. Apparently there's 2 now. Let me know if you're watching. I want to know if these YouTube numbers are right or not. But 2? Surely there's not just 2 people watching. Just comment anything in the chat. Just say here or yes or anything. I just want to know how many people are actually watching, because surely there's more than 2 people watching. I always used to get more than that. Tell you what, it's to switch over to the CSE channel, innit? Obviously I know Steve's watching, so there's Steve and one other person. That can't be right. Surely. Nick's watching. And Steve's watching. Is that it? Just Nick and Steve? If that's it, then that's it. Nothing. No, I've only got my many thanks to give you 2 guys. If it is actually only you 2 watching, oh, so John's here. So hopefully that's wrong. Hopefully that's wrong. So John's here. Surely that's wrong. Can't have 2 people watching. We always at least had about 10 on the Stonksy channel. But yeah. So obviously this is where we're up to. The app will have a bandwidth setting, and it's the up that you need to adjust. If it's 1000 kbs, setting it about 650 kbs a second. That is, mate. Yeah, that's on OBS. That's on OBS. I remember setting it. I think I set it to about 7000 kbs. I think that's what I set it to. About 7000 kbs. But yeah, so good day on the markets so far anyway. Good day on the markets. I tell you what, anyone still hold Chippy here? Anyone still hold Chippy? It's the app, Dave. Other influencers are having the same problem. Oh, so you talk about OBS? Does anyone still hold Chippy here? I covered Chippy the other week when it was down here. Said I was personally picking some up again, not financial advice. But I mean, this is where it originated from last time. I mean, if you have a look at that last time, and why I was so interested in it was because this is where it came into last time. Obviously, it went a lot lower, didn't it? It went down towards 400k. But I mean, wouldn't it be nice to have another one of them? Wouldn't it be nice to have another one of them? What a run that was. That'd be bloody fantastic, wouldn't it? And it'd be nice to have one of these as well. So yeah, I did pick up some Chippy. I don't know if anyone still holds Chippy or still buys it up when it goes low, but I have done. But yeah, to everyone that's still here, obviously thank you very much for joining the stream. I am not going anywhere, don't worry. But yeah, that's what we're looking at on Bitcoin anyway. So this is a real pivotal, and it's quite interesting because we're live now at the best and worst time. John says I hold a lot of Chippy, mate. I know you do, yeah, because correct me if I'm wrong, you used to have the Chippy logo, didn't you? I think it's your profile picture, I think, on something. Might have been Discord. But this is the kind of the best and worst time to catch Bitcoin, because it's the best time because we're testing SR in an SR flip for support. But obviously we're just kind of a waiting game now. So obviously all the fun happened last night. Right now, all as we want is Bitcoin to even kind of be a bit boring and just hold there. Even if it's not going up, just hold. Just, you know, just hold that as support as long as possible. And then obviously look for a springboard up. Yes, OBS. Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah, so I'll have to go in and have a look at that then. Am I coming through? It says that my connection's great now. It says excellent, actually. So am I coming through clearly? Like to you guys now? Like, is it like nice and smooth, nice and clear? Obviously, when it starts lagging, it's not. But at the moment, is it all right? But yeah, that's what we're up to anyway. And yeah, I think hopefully when we come to stream on Wednesday, and when I do, when I come to stream on Friday, and when I do my video tomorrow, hopefully we're making a video on Bitcoin at 74, 75, 76k. That's what I'm hopeful for. But it does all just depend on this boring period now where Bitcoin is testing this area for demand. Can it hold above? Can any sell orders get eaten up? And what we want to do is obviously then bulls to start moving the sell orders up. So any dips are eaten fast and then obviously start to walk it to the upside. That's what we want. Because obviously something we don't look at all really is order book in this. But basically, obviously for the sell side and the buy side, you've got layered bids and asks. So for instance now, you'll have like layered bids on Bitcoin, say here, 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 you know, all the way down wherever people are putting the big bids. Talking about big bids here as well. And then asks, you can obviously see from this candle and this candle that, you know, upwards up to here have been asks, particularly towards just under 73k. So that's full of asks because we know that because Bitcoin is selling off. So what you want is obviously either enough money to come into the market just to chew through them asks, and then obviously pop Bitcoin into a low liquidity point so it can just go pop on not a lot of volume, or whoever has them lifts them and then obviously just allows Bitcoin then to go up. But yeah, we don't really cover order book or anything like that much, but that's obviously what it'll work like. If you are interested in that, let me know. I could maybe try and bring some material up to look at order book specific and actually talk you through, if anyone's never really looked into it, exactly how the market works. Because obviously that's how the market works. That's where buys come in, that's where sells come in. You're talking about the big ones, not just someone going market buying a bit of Bitcoin. Talking about like the hundreds of millions of dollars, ones that flush the market down or prop the market up. So if you are interested in that, let me know in the chat and I'll try and get some material together on looking at that and, you know, some good examples. I do know someone on Twitter that posts a lot of order book stuff, so could probably just go and look at his profile as the examples and talk you through it. But yeah, I mean, Bitcoin, come on, hold. What's the stock market doing? So the S&P is actually holding up relatively well, to be fair. This is coming like as a Bitcoin only little drawdown, not by too much. But yeah, we are getting a Bitcoin only drawdown. So we do want it to stay. If you do want me to cover any specific altcoins, do let me know. Obviously, MSTR back up today. I still haven't bought any MSTR. I am still interested in MSTR, but I've not bought any yet. But I am still interested in getting some. Coinbase doing well. Circle, obviously, this thing was great, weren't it? I mean, I was so annoyed at myself that I didn't buy any Circle when it was in and around here because it just looked cheap. But then obviously on the back of the good earnings and then coming into what the anticipation was for the Clarity Act, it got a really nice run. And then obviously Clarity Act gets announced that stablecoin rewards are going to be diminished, and then bang, sell off. So Circle's correction might not even be done yet, but I mean, what a run it had. But I think, you know, for long-term ones, I'm always interested in Coinbase and I'm always interested in MSTR. Now, I know Wiz done a video on the channel yesterday about Tron on the stock market. Again, this thing has done so well. I mean, it's done, you know, well over a 2x from the bottoming phase in February. And again, I'm interested in this. I haven't picked any up yet. Would love to pick some up on a pullback. Whether it will give a pullback is a different question. But again, you know, I'm just interested in this. Obviously got Metaplanet there as well. This thing would be interesting. What else we got? We got Bitmain. If you had to pick one crypto-related stock, so out of say MSTR, Coinbase, Circle, you could even tie Robinhood into that as well, couldn't you? Tron, any of the other treasuries or companies. Which one would you buy? Let me know in the chat. Which one would you buy? If you had to pick any crypto-related stock, and you could only pick one, you had to pick one to buy and hold, which one would you pick? I tell you what's doing well today is XYZ Block. This thing is up nicely from its February lows as well, isn't it? That thing's up like 30%. This thing just doesn't move, though. Like, this thing moves in a range, but just literally does not move. I mean, look at it. You must be at max. Imagine you've got one or two ways of looking at it, haven't you? If you was fully diversified into this thing, you have literally made no money in 4 years. Like, literally none. It's literally gone. So you look at that from the point of obviously coming down to where it started to settle in June and July, basically 4 years ago. You've literally made no money. But then on the other hand, you've lost no money. So you've not put your money into like any altcoins or anything that have just, you know, gone to zero or whatever. But in terms of a stock, I mean, stocks have literally just been booming for like 3 years straight, haven't they? And yet Block has literally gone nowhere apart from just chop, 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 chop up and down in that range. Remarkable, really. But yeah, come on, Bitcoin. Oh, the stream is doing that thing again. The stream is doing the thing again, which is incredibly annoying. Why? Why? Oh, you know what? It's so annoying, isn't it? It is so annoying. I would buy Tether. How? How would you do that? How would you buy Tether, Steve-O? With it being a private company? How would you buy Tether? Tether's being audited by one of the big four, innit? So maybe Tether ends up going public at some point. I hope this lag clears up. I've got bad bellyache. Ow, that hurts. How would you buy Tether? I'm interested when you say you buy Tether. Oh. I think the lag's cleared up now. I want Steve-O to tell me how he'd buy Tether. How would you buy Tether shares? But yeah. Not really. I mean, let's look through here. What this thing looks like? Has this gone? Yeah, this is good off the bottom. I was looking at this, and again, this is an example of something I said I was going to buy, and didn't, and that's just done like clean 2x off the floor. And I said I was going to buy this on stream. I remember looking at it, and I just didn't buy it. And bang, look at that, 4 USDT, 2x up. If the BNB kind of narrative ever comes back round, you know, Binance Smart Chain narrative, this thing is positioned quite well to be kind of like a really good meme coin. But I mean, yeah, another one of them things where good idea but no execution. Sad times. Asta. Kind of pinned in around that 70 region, innit? But yeah, I think what we'll do, guys, is we'll leave the stream there for today. We leave Bitcoin at 71.5k. Hopefully turning an SR flip. What we want, hold this as support, then start to rally to the upside. Whether it be the rest, you know, later today or tomorrow or Friday. Let's just avoid a crash down. That's not what we want. And of course, I'll be back streaming on Friday, so don't miss it. Hopefully, it should be packed full of good price action. If we've gone up, that'd be great, wouldn't it? And I'll have a video out on the channel tomorrow. Obviously, make sure you're watching Wiz's daily videos too. But yeah, thank you for watching. To those of you that have stayed throughout, I appreciate you. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And yeah, I'll see you all on Friday and in my video tomorrow. Have a good one. See you then.